Hi, here we are traveling down Route 66 in the Bible, and we're all the way down to 1 Kings. 1 Kings chapter 3 and chapter 4 in our Route 66 journey through the Bible. So thank you for traveling along with me. Here's a couple of chapters that we're going to read, chapter 3 and chapter 4 of 1 Kings. Chapter 3, Solomon begins his reign. He goes to Gibeon and he worships God. And as he's there, God appears to him in a dream, and God offers him anything he wants as the king. And Solomon humbly asks God for wisdom to govern God's people. And God grants him that request. And because he didn't ask for some of the other things he could have asked for, like wealth and all the other things and fame, God gave him those too. And the chapter ends with Solomon's famous ruling between two women, both claiming to be the mom. And Solomon proved his wisdom by going ahead and finding out who was the true mother. So it's a really good story. And then in chapter 4, Solomon establishes his kingdom. He organizes the kingdom with some officials and some governors, creates some well-structured administration. His wisdom is known around the known world at that time. Peace, prosperity, influence. Solomon's reign is known as a time of peace. This chapter highlights the breadth of his knowledge in a lot of different areas. So, a couple of lessons as you read this, and I think it's good. True wisdom begins with humility and the fear of the Lord. Wisdom is the ability to be able to make right choices, godly choices, good choices, and we need to seek God's will over any kind of personal gain. And that's what Solomon did. Solomon didn't choose for himself; he chose for God. And if you think about it, he already was a wise person to be able to make that choice. And in chapter 4, when God-given wisdom, and that's important to seek the wisdom that God has. God-given wisdom brings order, growth, influence, prosperity. When we do things God's way, it's amazing how orderly and good things end up doing. So the best thing to do is to ask God. It's in the book of James that it says if we need wisdom, we can ask God and he will give us wisdom. So one of the best prayers you can pray is, God, give me wisdom to make right choices. I can remember when our kids would go out at night when they were living at home, and they'd take off and they'd go to be with their friends. And Judy and I would always say, make wise choices, because the decisions that you make affect what happens to you. And even as adults, I think that's a good thing for us to do, is to make wise choices. Well, how do you know how to make wise choices? Ask God. So that's a great prayer. So enjoy your reading today, just a couple of chapters as we continue on